Well, hello everyone. June 19th, 2018. I am back up here at Campo Bonito on the Mogollon Rim here in central Arizona. I'm going to be here through the 26th. We have a bunch of people coming up on this trip, and I'm expecting my first guest tomorrow. Got gift on the brain. As soon as I got to camp, I went over to my gift stump where I had left a bag of like the Hostess powdered donuts, a little white bag that's about like yay so and about yay wide, and little plastic dinosaur with a marble in its mouth and a couple of glass beads. Dinosaur was flipped up on its back with the glass beads wedged into the stump above it or below it. Stump's about 3.5, 4 feet high, so it's not right on the ground. But anyway, so the bag of donuts that I left here on, 2 weeks ago today, June 6th, the only thing I could find in the entire area is this. This is a part of the bag where something had tore it and just ironically left most of the donuts, the word. There is absolutely no teeth marks, no claw marks, no nothing. It was just a clean tear. The bag was closed and sealed. I didn't open it up. So there you have it. Purpose of this video, we are going to, I am going to tell you about my very first experience with Bigfoot, the forest people, Sasquatch, here in Arizona, the Mogollon monster. Right around between 1980 and 1982, I was a Boy Scout. And we decided that we were going to go backpacking on the Highline Trail, which traverses the bottom edge of the Mogollon Rim. We got a late start. It was dark when we started hiking, and we had hiked in roughly a mile. I mean, we didn't get far in. It was late at night, and we were only doing an overnighter, so we found a good spot. And there was 2 scout leaders and 4 other scouts besides myself, total of 5 Boy Scouts. We'd set up our camp, and it was kind of on this knoll off the side of this little hill, and then it dropped down into this this little valley, and then it went higher up a hill. And so we were camped on this little knoll, this little flat spot. And scout leaders, they'd gone to sleep almost immediately after we got in there. I'm having a hard time seeing where this is at because I'm using my laptop and I got bad reflection. But so, like I said, the scout leaders, they'd gone to sleep, and and us young Boy Scouts, we're sitting by the campfire, and we're telling scary stories, and all the crap that young boys talk about, And it was about an hour after the scout leaders had gone to sleep that we had the rock thrown at our camp, and this rock probably somewhere around 30 to 50 pounds, maybe a little more. But you could hear it flying through the air, and it hit the ground right behind where I was sitting. I was leaning up against two ponderosa pine trees that were kind of growing together, and right behind that was that wash, and then it went up the hill behind me. Well, we all jumped up, and every bit of wood that we had, we threw it on the fire, because we know fire scares away everything, right? Um, weren't really sure what it was. All we knew, it was a real loud crash bang, with that rock flying through the air and hitting right behind us. And we're yelling at the scout leaders to get up, and and they wake up and they don't hear anything, and it's just dead quiet. And it just told us, go back to sleep. You're just hearing critters. Maybe it's a deer, but you guys need to go to sleep. We're going back to sleep. And so they went back to sleep, and excuse me a second. And it was, I don't know, a little while after they went back to sleep, we could hear very heavy, I mean, massive weight, just thud, 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 walking down the hill behind us. And so we freak out. Well, we don't have any more firewood, but, pine needles are fairly deep in the area. So we scrape up a bunch of pine needles. We throw them on the campfire, and, it flares up, and you hear thud, 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 thud going back up the hill, pretty quick. And, of course, once again, we're yelling at the scout leaders, get up, get up, get up. And they wake up, and, they don't hear anything. They're like, would you guys stop it? It's just critters out there. You're probably hearing deer or elk. There's nothing out here that you need to worry about, nothing you need to be afraid of. Just go to sleep. Like, we can't go to sleep. There's something out there. And, so they go back to sleep. And a little while later, we get the branch break. And then we get the heavy steps coming back down the hill. And, well, now we're pretty much out of pine needles, and we're out of wood, and we're not leaving the confine of what little bit of light we have from what's left of our campfire. And we can hear this thing coming up the hill from behind us. Like I said, it went down into the wash and then came back up. And it started to come back up the hill, and we managed to just get out far enough, get more pine needles, throw it on the campfire, and back up the hill it goes. Yeah, and I'm telling you, this thing was massive. It was heavy. We're shining our flashlights, and any of you older folk, that remember our wonderful flashlights back in the day, they didn't work very well. And, so we never was able to see anything. Once again, yelling at the scout leaders, get up, get up, get up. There's something out there. And they're, guys, would you knock it off? There's nothing out there. And just then a tree got snapped. And, I mean, it was a loud crack. It wasn't a knock. It wasn't a branch being broken. It was a tree being snapped. Well, now their attention has been grabbed, and they jump up out of the sleeping bag, and one of them pulls out a .44 Magnum revolver and pow, fires a shot in the air, and that was the end of it for the night. Now, I have always, as long as I can remember, believed Bigfoot was real. Seeing the Patty film, yeah, that's real. Okay, next subject. But Bigfoot lived in the Pacific Northwest, Northern California. Bigfoot didn't live in Arizona, but Arizona has a Mogollon monster. And so the moment you tag monster behind it, and then you put kids involved in it, and it becomes this horrifying event that we were about to be eaten. But not the case. If this thing wanted to cause harm to us, I wouldn't be sitting here telling you the story. And the next morning, we had gone out and we found the tree that was snapped, and it was probably 7 inches diameter. I mean, wasn't a huge tree, but it wasn't a sapling either. And it was about 9-10 foot up in the air where it was literally snapped. And it was a horrifying event, and I can't begin to tell you how afraid I was that night. And it wasn't until, probably within the last 15 years that, I really would think about it and go, well, I know it wasn't a deer. I know it wasn't an elk. I know it wasn't a cow. I know it wasn't a bear. I know it wasn't a raccoon. And, I'm going through everything that lives up here. And, so process of elimination, it's not this, A, B, C, and D. What else are you left with? And I would tell people that, I believe it was a Bigfoot, but I can't prove it dogmatically because we never saw it. However, that was the one part I forgot to tell you about. Right after the gunshot, there was a whoa, and then it went quiet. Bears don't do that, cows don't do that, coyotes don't, So I'd tell people that, I believe I had an experience with Bigfoot, but I don't know. I never saw it. Do you have to see something to know what it was? No, you don't have to see it. Once you can do deductive reasoning and figure out what it isn't, then you're left with what it has to be. The irony about all this is where that had happened, back in somewhere between 1980 and 82. I don't remember exactly what year, but right in that time frame. But from that particular location to Squatch Camp, which I'm locked out of right now because fire danger's pretty high up here, and they got that area closed down. But from that initial location on the Highline Trail to my camp, to Squatch Camp, as the crow flies, is 3 miles. I've measured it on Google Earth. Don't remember, but it was either 3 or 4 miles. So in Bigfoot steps, the forest people, they cover that in a matter of about 15, 20 minutes if they were in a hurry. Oh shit, faster than that. I used to run 2 miles 11 minutes and 48 seconds a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away called the U.S. Army. So how long would it take them to traverse from that spot to to Squatch Camp? It is the same family group, and I'm pretty sure, pretty confident that one of the Squatch that I'm dealing with in this particular clan over there at Squatch Camp was the same one that scared the crap out of me when I was a young teenager. So this has been going on with me for a long time, but I never really got serious about it until that show, what was it called? Not Finding Bigfoot or Finding Bigfoot or whatever it is. Um, I can't remember. You know, I've never seen him find one. Um, but I give that show a lot of credit because it brought a lot of stuff to the forefront, and you know, got me and my son, and when we come out camping, you know, hey, let's go knock on trees, see if we can get knocks back. You know, woohoo! And it happened, but we weren't knocking on the trees. We got knocked at first, and you know, watch my last video I made, 1 year anniversary of Squatch Camp, and I go through that whole story. But you know, this last year has been phenomenal. I've been forced to keep an open mind because the amount of activity and the more I'm out here and the more activity I have, the stranger it gets. You know, so I am not going to be limited in my thinking of, well, it has to be this because it has to fit my paradigm. That's stupidity, you know. Um, if you're trying to fit something into your world, your way of thinking, what you believe to be true and accurate, because of the scientific method and processes and theories of evolution, and you know, stop it, guys. It doesn't. It really doesn't work like that. You know, you want to get these. You know, these personal interactions. You know, where you exchange gifts, and you know, show you this. This is my rock. This was left for me on my front bumper at Squatch Camp after the first time I had. Second time I left them gifts. But the interesting part about it is this edge right here is almost looks like it's melted off there, or rubbed off of there. I don't know how well this is showing up on there. But this particular type of stone does not exist geologically in the area here or at Squatch Camp. Geologically, the stone's a little different here, but primarily still all sandstone and flint. This is river rock on my front bumper at Squatch Camp. Gold necklace left for me. See previous videos. Last big camp out here, they put a stick inside my door handle. You know, left face prints. I've got audio recording of them talking and knocking and whistling. I'm just all kinds of activity. You know, so go out and set up your trail cameras and keep beating on trees and tromping through the forest. And you know, I keep saying this over and over again, and I'm going to say it again, and I'll keep saying it. You need to change up your methodology. You need to change your line of thinking. You need to be able to accept that, you know, you may not be right. That the world you're trying to fit the Sasquatch, Bigfoot, forest people into, it's not their world. It's not where they live. It's not how they exist. So, you know, unless you're willing to, you know, go all the way into this and accept what so many of us are telling you, you know, I don't know what else to tell you guys, you know. But enough on that. I'm going to get a couple more things done around here, and I'll be putting together a little bit more videos, but probably not on the laptop because I can't even see what I'm looking at. Am I even on here anymore? I just got such bad reflection. Yeah, I see myself. Hi. All right, guys. I'm going to close this down, and we are going to finish getting things set up here. Once again, thank you for watching my videos. I do this for you, to share my experiences out here. Once again, I am not out here to prove the existence of anything because their existence is already proven. It's just a matter of whether you accept it or not and what you choose to believe and not believe. But thank you. And we will shoot some more video a little later. Peace out.